Hmm? Sorry, I'm not getting your voice. Yesterday we have discussed about partitions and which topic? Yeah, logs discussed the day before yesterday, right? We have discussed about the synonyms, right? Synonyms and partitions. Can anybody tell me what is the synonym? Why we can use the synonym? Hmm. Synonym is just nothing but it's a alias name for the your original object. That can be any procedure, function, table, view, or anything. Okay, we can use for that. Normally, why we will use for the security reason. Okay, if you want to hide your original names, original object names means normally people will give the grants to only synonyms. So with synonym directly they you can hide your username and original object name. Okay, actually which one is the original owner, that and all you can hide with the synonyms. Okay, there are two types of synonyms. One is public synonym and private synonym. With this public synonyms and all, directly you can use your object in other databases also. Whenever you are doing the migrations or whenever you are using in other another databases. Okay, if you want to combine and if you want to use that such type of things means like informatica, or okay, if you want to add multiple sources means multiple databases means then you have to use the db link for that. Okay, database link whatever we are having, that you can with the at the rate database link. For that you will create, see, instead of using this much length you can create smart synonym directly, you can use that one. Okay, that is the synonym advantage. Next, we discussed about one more topic is partitions, right? What is partition? What is partition? Normally, in Oracle, data will be distributed among the your all the data blocks and data files, and there will be some as a different rows. Okay, but if you want to keep everything in as a separate partition, okay, it means separate block for the your table, instead of scanning the your complete data blocks. If you want to store in one place means you will create the partition for each and every. There are some different metrics are there to define the partitions and all, like range partition and list partition, hash partition. So what is the advantage with me? Physically, it's a partition. So your whenever you are querying the data, it won't scan completely on the in the your memory, Oracle memory. So what it will happen? Whenever you are querying the data, it will only scan the particular partition instead of querying the all the blocks, so that your query performance will get improved. Okay, normally it will go for the whenever you are using the whenever you are storing the huge amount of data, then you will go for the partitions. Okay, what is range partition? Can anybody tell me? What is range partition? Hmm. Range partition means if you want to store the particular days of data, okay, if you are specifying any number or any date, okay, to maintain that data in one partition, you have to specify that partition as a range partition on the which column you are doing that one, and you have to specify the values should be less than specific. Okay, you should be define the limit. Okay, that is called range partition. Okay, Insertion and selection will be same. If you want to select the particular partition means simply after select statement you have to specify the partition, that's it. Okay, it will select the partition data, nothing that alter things and all, it's common thing. Okay, instead of object, okay, part if you are using the column means add column or drop party or drop column, like that same way you can use the partition. Okay, if you are adding the partition means you have to define the range, that is default. Okay, that is range partition. Next, list partition. If you want to make specific states of data or specific areas of data or specific districts of data, if you want to segregate that your data into multiple list as a list values, okay, then you have to create the list partition and you have to specify the values for that. Okay, after defining the partition you have to specify the your list whatever you are having the data. Okay, so that is the list partition. Next, what is hash partition? Hash partition nothing but actually you don't know how many records you are having uh, when we don't know the range. So but still you want to store the data in one place instead of splitting into complete data space, table space. So what you can do, you will create the one hash partition. Okay, you can just specify the number of partitions based upon the hash value. The data will be splitted by default. Okay, that algorithm will taken care by only Oracle itself, that we don't know. If you want to see the partitions and all means you have to check in the your dictionaries. Okay, user tab partitions or DBA tab partitions, like that you will be having some dictionaries. So for that specific tables you can check the partitions information. Okay, that selection and all common thing only. So, normal is this one also, just you have to specify the partition and inside that you have to specify the partition name. Okay, that is the hash partition. Apart from that we have discussed one more topic. Which one? Which one we have discussed now? Nested table, right? What is nested table? Hello, am I audible? Yeah, what is nested table? If you want to store the table inside the table, okay, then you have to go with nested table. Okay, how you can define means, first you have to create the record type, what are all the columns will be required inside the nested table. Okay, first you have to define the one object type. Okay, by using create type name, what is the type of what are the columns are there in the inside the nested table. Okay, that you have to define. Next, you have to create one table type of type record. Okay, what is the type of your type object type? Okay, that you have to specify by using create type. Table type is table of. Is table of is the keyword for the converting the record type into the table type. This syntax will be there in the PL/SQL also in the collections. Okay, there are different types of collections are there. There also record type, PL/SQL table. PL/SQL table means it's an associative array. Okay, or index by table we can say anything, and nested table, and we are having VRA. Okay, and we are having ref cursors. These are all the different types of collections in the Oracle. Okay, so same way for the nested table you have to define the record type. After that you have to create the table type for that. Next you have to create the actual table with the type of your table type. That is, you have to specify the user defined type as the data type. Okay, this is user defined data type. It's not the number or varchar. It is not the scalar data types. It's a user defined type. Okay, already we discussed in the PL/SQL topics, right? What is user defined type means? You percentage row type, percentage table name dot column percentage type means what? That's one. that are all user defined types. Okay, so that you have to specify in the as a column, and you have to specify the what is the nested table column. Okay, here I am specifying the address is the nested table column, and you have to specify the some comment section for the nested table column. Okay, that is the way you have to create. And inserting and deleting and all, that will be you have to specify the which one, whatever normal columns you are having, that directly regularly you can use that one. And you have to specify the table type. Okay, what you are define the table type. Okay, you should not specify the name. Okay, you have to specify the type. It's not the your column name. Okay, you have to specify the type. Okay, for the while defining the values. Okay, you have to specify the table type, and you have to specify the record type also. Okay, what is the object type. Okay, there you have to specify your values. Okay, in that way you can insert the records. And you cannot update you cannot update directly the inside the nested table. Okay, you have to select particular id. Okay, you should be having some unique id in the main table. So for that you have to select for that, and you need to select the column, what is the table type column. Okay, here I am having the some customer values. Here I am having the record type of uh, that customer number. Okay, this is the customer number, and I am having the addresses of address ID, and what is the address. Okay, and pin code, everything, state, everything is there. Okay, I want to update the details means first you have to select the customer ID. Okay, first specific customer ID. Here you have to select the nested table column. Okay, you have to select the nested table column that you are using as a table keyword. Okay, table of this will allow. Okay, even in Snowflake also it is there, table of whenever you are querying the data. Okay, JSON formats and all, parse JSON is there, right? Table of parse JSON, like that you will use, right? Same way here also it will do. We have to do same thing. Update table of select address from customer, and you have to specify the, you have to filter the particular customer id, and you need to update the particular columns information whatever you have written in the record type. Okay, I am updating the street and house number. Okay, a street where that a house number equal to 2, he is having two addresses, so he it is selecting the house number 2 for the updation. Okay, this is the way to do DML operations. Even you can do same thing, delete operation. Delete from table, table of, you have to specify the particular column, table type column for the particular customer ID, and you can specify the where condition, where a house number equal to 2, like that. If you are doing this, you can able to delete the record for the house number 2. Second record, if you want to delete in the nested table, that you can do. If you want to delete particular customer ID directly, you can delete, there is no issue. Okay, your entire record will delete. But if you want to delete the record in nested tables, you have to filter like this. Okay, how you would select the data? Same way. Okay, if you are selecting the data customer, select star from customers means what you will get, you will get only the type of the table type and record types. Inside that, how many records you are having, that record type names you will get. If you want to expand that one means, you have to select that values as a table of that C addresses, you, like that. Okay, this will be there in the other databases also. Okay, table of, you have to specify the table type column name. Okay, this is the way you can operate the nested table. Okay, if you want to drop the nested table means main table means, first you have to drop the main table, and after that you have to drop the table type, and next you can drop the original object. Okay, whatever you have defined as a record type, that you can object directly. You cannot drop the record type if you want. Okay, what will happen, it won't allow. First you should be delete the your dependencies first, then only you can able to delete the object type. Anybody have any doubts in the yesterday's class? Everybody is clear, right? Next, clustering. Clustering means what? What is general meaning of cluster? Anybody know? It's a kind of sorting only. Okay, but in database world, cluster means it's a sort. Okay, Oracle given. See what why we need to use the cluster and all. First, I will explain so that you can it can make sense about this topic. Okay, let's assume you are having two tables. If you want to join two tables, okay, that two tables are having millions of record. First table is having 1 million record. Second table also having 1 million records. Okay, let's assume I want to join the table. What will happen normally? Okay, I am having table A and table B. Here I'm having 1 million records. Okay, one two three, like that. Okay, there are some id column and there are so many tables are there. uh, okay, and table B also I'm having, it is also having some like this, some 1 millions of record. What will happen? All the times it will go and check entire the table. Okay, whenever you are doing the join, so if you want to query the data, it will take more time. See, actually, we are executing with simple data. Okay, maximum 100 records, 200 records, like that we are querying here. But in real time, it will be huge tables will be there. So that time, what will happen if you want to make the join means it will take more time to get the select statement result. So instead of querying entire data, what you can do first only you can create one separate table for this join columns. Okay, while inserting the table A records, that time itself we can take the this is the cluster table. Okay, cluster you can table one create, you can create the one cluster table. Okay, of type A, and here join column is join column also, tab B underscore B. Okay, like that. Okay, dot A, this is tab A dot A. Okay, this is a column, this is also you can consider a column. Okay, so like that you can maintain the separate table. Okay, and also it will store the row IDs for the particular table. Okay, for this one you will be having some row ID, right? So that will store. Okay, along with this one, so that will maintain internally cluster table and all. So for this one, for this column, whatever, while inserting the data into the table A, directly it will come and sit here. Okay, 1 2 3 4, like that. Okay, it will sit here itself. If you are creating a separate table to join columns separately, so whenever you are whenever you are inserting the data for the table B, at the time of insertion itself, okay, insertion will take time, right, normally. So at the time of insertion to the table B, that time itself it will join in the cluster table. Okay, this it will match and it will join. Okay, if you are having duplicates, it will allow. Okay, it will create as a one separate duplicate for the first table, and it will insert the value like that. Okay, it will join this time. Okay, and it will store the row IDs separately. Okay, so what will happen whenever you are querying the data, whenever you are doing the join, so directly it will fetch from the this table only. Okay, join keys and all, it will fetch from this table only. Okay, whatever join, whether you are doing left join, right join, inner join, whatever you want, whatever, but it will check the this cluster table only. It won't check the main table. So that what will happen here, you are storing only two columns. But in actual original table, what will happen? You will be scan entire table. Okay, let's assume you are having some 100 columns and you are having 1 millions of record. What will happen? You need to scan entire table. So what will happen? It will take more time whenever you are using the normal table joins and all. But if you are using the cluster table, you already inbuilt, okay, you have maintaining the join keys, okay, that you have to specify the cluster table. I will use the this column for the join for these two tables whenever I am doing the joins specifically for these two tables. I know department, I will be having in my application some department id, and I will be having some department number in the EMP table. So I want to make join in future. I will do regularly those tables, and I will query the data regularly. That functionality you should know prior to implement the tables. Okay, then you have to taken care of cluster table if you want to get data very fast manner in future. Okay, so that time we will go for the cluster table. For that, extra charges will be there by the Oracle if you want to create the clusters and all. Even not only this one, for index, for cluster, for constraint, for partitions, everything that and all will be the extra additional charges by the Oracle. Okay, that's why we cannot get in the trial versions and all sometimes. Okay, are you understood what is the topic of cluster table? You should be knowing the what are all the tables you will join in future before creating the tables itself. Then that you know, okay, the Amazon orders table, okay, me orders means daily I will get millions of record. I want to join that table with some other table. So what I can do, I will create the one cluster table for the orders table and some invoice table. So what will happen, it will automatically whenever inserting the data, whenever you are placing the order at the time of user usage, okay, so that time itself record will be inserted into the cluster table. So internally, what will happen here? The data will be sorted first thing. Okay, you have to create the on top of this insertion. You have to create the one index for the cluster table. Okay, no need to take care of this table A, table B indexes and constraints and all. Here cluster in cluster table, if you are creating the cluster table means you have to create the index. So by default, scanning will be it will be in sorting. Okay, either it is normally it will be in ascending order. So if it is in ascending order means easy to query the data, easy to join the tables. That is the advantage of cluster. Okay, this cluster concept will be there in all the databases, but actual implementation will be sometimes it will be different. Okay, in Snowflake and all, directly along with your table definition you can specify. Even in Teradata also you will specify with along with your table definition and all. But in Oracle you have to specify externally because it's a additional charge. Okay, so how you can do that and means I will show you. Okay, there are some three different steps are involved in the cluster implementing the cluster. Okay, first you have to create the cluster. Okay, this is also one of the database object. Okay, it will store the data in clusters. Okay, create cluster name like that, which column you want to define. Okay, that you have to define, and you have to create one index on the particular cluster. Next you have to create the your actual tables by specifying the cluster key columns. Okay, are you getting what is cluster concept? Everybody is clear, right? This concept will be there in all the databases. Of course, it's an additional charge, but still it will be useful whenever you are doing the performance activities. Now, if you want to improve the your query performance and all, you have to take care with the cluster by key. If it is a possibility is there, you have to create the cluster key based upon your manager approval. Okay, because why manager approval required means definitely there will be some additional charges for the execution, right? So you have to take care that one. Okay, you can add this in your performance tuning topics and all. Whatever I have explained after constraints, okay, that and all completely performance tuning things. Index and partition and what I have explained, cluster. These are all the performance tuning activities actually. Okay, let's see how we can create the clusters and all. Okay, this is nothing is there. First, you have to create the first step is there is first you have to create the cluster in Snowflake and all. It's not required actually. Additionally, no need to create the clusters and all, but in Oracle it is required. Okay, you have to create the one cluster. Okay, that is of type. I am joining the future. In future, I will join the table EMP of the column. Common column is DEPT number. Okay, this is completely depends on before implementing the application. Okay, you have to create the one cluster here. Okay, on top of that you have to create one index for that. Okay, how you can create the index? Create index name on table. That's what we have done, right? Now you have to specify the cluster. On cluster you are defining that one, so you have to define that. It is a, if you want to create the unique index, you can do means you should be having unique values for the department number. Okay, but actually EMP you are having duplicate, so don't create unique index on cluster key because it's a join keys, right? So there will be some duplicates from both the sides or only one side. So if you are creating the unique key means it will be waste. So you have to create the normal b tree index. Okay, next what you have to do? Next you have to create the normal tables. Okay, actual tables. How you can define? Just this is common only. Okay, okay, create table emp. uh, this functionality before implementing the function, creating the before implementing the tables and all, that time itself you should know that one. Okay, so just you have taken care of this cluster key concept, where you are defining, where you are storing the data means what will happen whenever what it will do na, cluster that particular of this one. Okay, whenever you are inserting the data into the emp cluster, okay, emp cluster table, automatically it will consider the this cluster. Okay, it will do the additional insert for the emp dept cluster. Okay, whatever values you are inserting in the department number, that will be inserted to the your cluster also. Internally it will maintain the table. Okay, that we cannot see, that will be done by Oracle internally. Okay, that will be stored separately in the department number. That's why they are giving some additional, they are charging additionally, means internally they want to store, they want to use the utilize the additional memory and functionality required for that. So that you have to take in care. Okay, cluster, which tables, where you are inserting the data. Okay, you can create that one. And what you have to do, one more, this table I want to join, right? So here also you have to specify the same thing. Okay, now you have created the tables. Internally what will happen whenever you are inserting the data into the both the tables? Okay, inserting into emp cluster values. Okay, emp number, let's 1001, sorry, let's do some thousand. Okay, and department number 10. What will happen internally? It will insert the record to the your cluster also. Okay, you can add n number of records, it will be stored in the this table. Okay, your duplicates whatever you want, you can, it will store in the table. Okay, if you are entering the multiple values means it will be, see, till now I have not entered the data into the department table. Till now how the data will be stored now? Okay, emp dept cluster for the column a, that is from emp dot a. Okay, how it will be, data will be there, 10 10 10. Okay, like that data will be inserted internally. Okay, till now dpt dpt1 dot department number is null till now. Okay, this is the table till now, your cluster table. Okay, whenever you are inserting the data to the second table, that is department 1. Okay, you are joining this one. If you want, you can add a number of tables, that's fine. Okay, if you are adding this table, that time it will add one row and it will insert the, and first it will check the existing values. Okay, let's assume I am not inserting the 10th department, I am inserting the 20th department details. So what will happen? Insert into dpt1 values. Okay, what will happen now? You will get the, let's insert the 20th department and the department name some accounting. Okay, and the location is some Bangalore. Okay, if you are inserting like this means data will be inserted to the dept table and it will be inserted to the this table also. But whenever you are inserting the next record, okay, further other table records or anything means, it will check the existing cluster data. Okay, it will try to match here itself, it will store that one. Okay, so here 10 is not, 20th is not there, 20th is not there. So what it will do, it will create the 20th record separately. Okay, if you are inserting the record for 10th department, okay, that time itself, what it will do, it will update the records. Okay, if you are inserting the 10th department details means, what will happen now, it will store the value as a 10 because this 10 value is there. Okay, because it is checking in the your table definition, it will check the your cluster records. Okay, cluster records, you are having the 10th department, right? So already it will do the matching. Okay, so what will happen, when along with these two records we are having the row IDs for this one. Okay, additionally, that is additional table. Okay, that additional columns in the your cluster table, that you can ignore. But you will be, directly it will fetch the these two record these values. Okay, this means instead of scanning your entire table, directly it will fetch this one, these records from these tables. Okay, your row IDs will be saved. Okay, that is the way you are inserting. If you are inserting the for 20th department, again it will match with this cluster table. If it is there in any other place, okay, directly it will insert the value for this one also. If you want, you can add other table also. If you want to utilize the same cluster for other one, okay, I want to join the table department 2. Okay, you can do that one. Whenever you are inserting the data to the this table, again it will add one more table, that's it. But whenever you are inserting the data, again it will check for all the things. Okay, if you are inserting duplicate records means, again it will replicate here and it will insert the value. That's what the it in this way it will work. So whenever you are querying the data, directly it will fetch from this table, based upon your row IDs, directly it will go and fetch. Okay, instead of scanning your entire table, this will be easy. Yes or no? Okay, so you will skip n number of columns. Okay, with the clusters and all. So definitely your query performance will be good compared to earlier. Okay, same way it will work in any database, but your actual implementation syntax will be different. But actually in all the databases it will be same. Okay, internally it will maintain the data separately, that will be in order, and on top of that it will be created the index. Okay, externally maybe we are creating or not doesn't matter. If you are already sorting the data means not required that one. Okay, so it will check in that way. So what will happen? It won't scan your entire table. It will scan only your cluster table. Okay, everybody is clear, right? Cluster. Anybody have any doubt? Guys, everybody is clear, right? Same way, if you want to drop the clusters, please, what you have to do first? Let's try to drop the cluster. Okay, this is the cluster I have created. I want to drop this one. Drop object means what? Drop cluster. Okay, drop object name you have to specify. You cannot drop the clusters directly because it's not empty. Means it is containing some data belongs to some tables. Okay, it belongs to some tables. See, let's assume you are updating the records of main table. Okay, what will happen? It will update in your cluster also. Okay, updations and all same thing. Even if you are deleting the records from the main tables, records will be deleted here as well. Okay, so it is not empty, it is depending on some other tables. I have first we have to drop the your main base tables. Okay, how you can do? You can drop the tables first. Okay, next drop table dbt. Okay, now your tables are dropped. Now you can able to drop the cluster also. Okay, if you want to drop the table cluster, whether if you are having dependencies, okay, still I want to drop the table, I want to drop the cluster means you can drop the cluster along with your tables. Okay, I have created the tables. Let me insert the records. There is an option to drop the cluster along with your tables. Okay, simply you have to specify the keyword including tables. Including tables, if you are using this keyword means it will drop the tables also. Okay, cluster also dropped. If you can check the table, it will not be there. Okay, emp cluster is not existed because it's along with your cluster, it's dropped. Okay, are you clear? Any doubts in the cluster topic? Guys, anybody have any doubts in the cluster topic? Clear, right? Why we can use the clusters? Hmm. To improve the query performance. Okay, internally what it will do, it will create the separate table to store the join columns. Okay, whenever you are inserting you are doing the dml operations on the main table, automatically data will be inserted to the cluster tables as well. Okay, and even for the both the tables, in future whatever you are doing the joins, automatically data will be copied into some cluster table. Whenever you are querying the data in future, directly it will fetch from the cluster table. That's it. Okay, clear, right? If you are clear, I will go with the next topic. Okay, next last topic is dcl comments. Can anybody tell me what is dcl comments? Data control language. What are all the things will be there in the DC? How you can control the data? Okay, by specifying, by giving the grants. Okay, instead of querying, instead of giving all the rights to the particular user, you can restrict that one. Okay, you can control that one. Okay, how you can define? Okay, you can define the specific operations. Okay, I want to give rights to only DML operations. I don't want to give updation operation. Okay, once I have created the account, I don't want to give operations to a particular department. Okay, like just I want to give only insertion for the transaction details, not for the your account details. So that you can give. How you can give? Just you have to specify the what are all the permissions you want to give. Okay, only that particular user that you can give. I want to give the grants to see the data, not for DML operations. Okay, how you can do that one? Okay. How you can do? Just you can specify the only select statement to the particular user. There are two types of commands are there to control the users and all. Grant and revoke. Okay, give me 1 minute. Okay, there are two commands, grant and revoke, to give the permissions to the other users and all. How you can give? There is a syntax is grant. Okay, what are all the privileges you want to give on the particular object, that you can give on particular object to the particular user. Okay, let me show you few. This, I am having two users here. Yesterday also I shown, but I have not explained that one. Okay, this is one user. Okay, show user. Let me select. Okay, this is the ball user, and this is the. Okay, I logged in with two users. Okay, you should be having some users, you should be having some privileges to connect the database, otherwise I won't allow to insert or updation insert operations on the particular objects and all. So how you can define? You should be having some privileges, and you should be, you are separate user. So how we can create the users and all, we'll see. Okay, you understood, right? Grant means I am giving the permissions. Revoke means I am withdrawing the permissions. Okay, I want to cancel my whatever I have given permission earlier. I want to cancel that permissions. Okay, how you can do with how we can do that with the revoke command. Okay, this will be, these two commands will be there in all the databases. Okay, no need to worry. If you want to manage the user hierarchy, okay, a manager who is under, okay, what are all the permissions employee needs to get, what are all the permissions manager should have, what are all the permissions. Okay, very good. What are all the permissions I have to give for HODs? Okay, how you can define that one means by using the grant and revoke commands. Normally, this task will be done by DBA people in real time, Oracle and all. But sometimes developer also need to take care this one. Okay, if you want to creating your own objects, okay, if you are implementing some applications, uh, you want to give the permissions to the other application users. Okay, that time normally you will give the grants from your side. Okay, let's see how we can create the users and what are all the privilege. Okay, privileges means permissions. Okay, and role. Okay, let's assume today you have created one user and you have given the grants. Okay, you are the developer, I have given the grants, insert, update and delete the particular user. Next day again one more person came, again I have to give the grants to particular user. Okay, like that some employees are adding, or some employees are resigning, so I want to revoke. So daily you cannot uh, give the permissions to the particular user. So that's why what you can do, you can assign some role. Okay, you can create one role. Okay, he is the developer. Okay, based upon his designation, he is the developer. You will create one developer role, and you will give the permissions on the objects or your system. Okay, or your database, whatever you want. Okay, that permissions will be given to the particular role. Simply what you can do at the time of relieving or adding, you can assign that user to the particular role. That's it. Okay, so what will happen, whatever role is having that privileges, whatever you are whatever that role is having the permissions, that permissions directly it will come to the this user also. That is the advantage of roles. There are some predefined roles are there, and user defined roles are there. How we can do that and all, we'll see. Okay, just for basic uh, elements whatever you are using in the DCR to control the data and control the objects and all, means these are all the keywords. Okay, one is grant, revoke, and you should be having some users to whom you are giving the permissions and all. Means what, you have to create one user, and what are the permissions for particular user. Okay, there will be some system privileges, means system permissions, and permissions. Object permissions means what, on particular table, on particular cluster, on particular view. Okay, if you want to define the permissions like that, means you have to give the specific object privileges. If you want to give the entire database your permissions and all, means entire database or entire schema or entire warehouse, means you have to specify the system privileges. Okay, to connect the databases, to connect the warehouse. Okay, you have to specify, you have to give the system privileges to the particular user. That's what the basic things in the DCL commands. Okay, normally what, whenever you are developer or tester, tester means what will be there, he will be having permissions to the query the data and checking the data, maybe may not be there, delete and update permissions. So how you can define, so just you can define the some testing role, and for that whatever permissions you want, that you can give. Okay, like that there will be, you will be having some define the some roles, and simply whenever new tester is added, new developer is added, database administrator will just taken care that one, assigning the user to the particular roles, whatever permissions he want, that based upon the manager approval, he will give the permissions and all. Okay, just you got some brief idea about how we can control the data and how we can control the users. You got right some brief idea? Yes or no? Okay, oracle means by default two administrator user will be given. Okay, sysadmin and sysuser. Okay, here you can see sys is there, and one more user by default system. Okay, that two roles will be given to the particular oracle database. Okay, any, if you are getting the access, means that two roles will be there. Okay, first DBA is the first person to access the your oracle. Okay, he will be having all the privileges. Okay, to access the data, and he can able to create the tables, views, everything. Okay, he can operate anything in the database, only these two users initially. So going forward, if you want to build some applications, means what you have to do, he will create some users, even managers or HODs, whatever it want, but he will be creating the users to access these databases and all. Okay, how you can create the users and all, means just simply, okay, you should be login with sys user. Otherwise you cannot able to, if he has the balu to use, balu to user is having the creating the users and all. Okay, that is fine. Okay, but who needs to give that access and all? Sys user needs to give access. Okay, let's see. I am creating the balu 56 as a user. Okay, he has rights. Okay, he has given the rights by default, this user, because it's a trial versions, right? Maybe all people are working as a database administrator only. Okay, on top of that sys user, but complete permissions will be there with the sys user. Few permissions will not be there with other users. Okay, how you can define the roles and all, that is different case, but creating the users is simple. This one, normally users and all will define by the sys user. Okay, let's create Ali. Okay, I will create the user Ali and I will define this one. Next, user is created, but he should have permissions to connect the session. Okay, means connect the database. Means what? He has to create some session. Session means what? Connection. Okay, if you are opening the net banking means what? You are opening one session for your user. Okay, so how you can do that one means you should be having the permissions to create a session. Okay, let's see whether Ali user able to connect the system or not. Of course, user is created. Okay, let's see. Select the star from dba underscore users. Okay, here you can see the Ali user. Okay, Ali user is there, but let's see, we'll connect the user. Okay, connection name just simply you can give yourself, and username is what? Ali, right? And what is the permission? What is the password here? That syntax is there, right? It is the username identified by is the keyword. Okay, which is referring the your password. Okay, KNA will be the password. Okay, you can give that one. Okay, just you can try to connect that one. You cannot able to create because user Ali lacks of create session privilege. Login denied means he should be having the connect privileges. Okay, that who has to give that one? Even though if you are creating the user, you should be having the connecting permissions. Okay, create the tables. Okay, let me give permissions to the create the session and connect. Okay, connect the resource. Okay, let's give that permissions. Ali user, right? And identify by your password only can use, and you can give the permissions to the connect session and create the session. Okay, now let me try to connect the database Ali user. Okay, so Ali database, I will create the Ali and password is KNA, right? Let me connect. Now I can able to connect the Ali database. Let me try to create the table. Create table T1. Let's create A as number, B is number. I will try to create one table here. What happened? Normally you should not get. Okay, since it is a DBA user by default, it is creating in the trial version. That's why it is allowing. Normally you cannot able to create the tables also in real time. Okay, if you are checking, you can see this one Ali user. Okay, he has to get the rights. Okay, sometimes it won't work. Actually it won't work. You have to get the create table, create view. Okay, these permissions. Okay, or normally he will give the, if he wants to give all the permissions means, all means here you will be considering the create table, create view, create procedure, create function, like that. Okay, all procedures if you want means you have to specify simply all privileges. Okay, normally you have to get the permissions like this. Okay, if you want to restrict and all means in real time you will be, your DBA has to execute like this. Okay, grant create table, create view permissions. Okay, then only actually user will be able to insert the data and create the tables and all. Till the time he cannot able to insert the records. Here everything I am getting the permissions, but in real time it won't be there. Okay, don't worry that one. But in real time there will be restrictions. Just now you understood what is uh, user and how the permissions will give. Are you clear, guys? Okay, I want to withdraw the permissions. Okay, let's see how I can withdraw. Who is the owner actually? Ali sys user, right? So what I will do? I will revoke that permissions. Okay, revoke. Here you are given two, right? Now you have to specify the from keyword. Okay, here you have to specify the Ali user. Okay, let me try this one. Okay, actually you don't have privileges to system privileges not granted to Ali. Okay, let me create Ali user. Okay, now you can try to revoke that one. Okay, now try to create the table. Let me create table again by changing that. Okay, actually maybe it will work, may not be work, but actually it won't allow. I guess I am not connected the exactly Ali user. Actually, it is a trial version. That's why it is not working. By default, you are getting as a sysrole permissions. Okay, maybe that while inside while installing time I have given the rights that and all. Okay, by installing time it will ask for the what are all the permissions. By default permissions will be given to the defined roles and all. Okay, that question will ask by while installing time. Okay, maybe that time it's allowed that one. That's why I am not able to revoke that and all, revoke the permissions and all. But in real time it will be there. Okay, only sys user and system user, only two users can able to do that one. For that directly what they will do, first they will create the dba role first. Okay, dba role they will create for them. They will give the access to the permissions, okay, to create the tables, views, everything. Okay, after that D- for that dba role they will assign the some dba users. Okay, once they assign the dba roles, they will give they can able to define the new roles like developer role and testing role. Okay, and uat role and prod role. Like that they will create some permission, number of permissions, and simply they will add whenever user is adding and whenever user is moving from the organization, that time they will revoke the permissions and all. That's what in real time it will be. Okay, but like this by default it won't allow to create the tables and cannot able to revoke the things and all. Okay, that this user only will be having by default, other users will not be having. So for that you should be get the permissions to the other users. Okay, that is the creating user and default privileges. Okay, everybody is clear? Anybody have any doubt creating the users and all, how we can give the grants and how we can revoke the permissions? Clear, right? Okay. So what do you think? Okay, privileges. Already we discussed. Privileges means it's a permissions. Okay, there are two types of permissions are there. Two types of privileges are there. One is system privileges and object privileges. See here connecting. Okay, user connecting. Uh, where I have logged in. Yeah, here. Create session, connect resource. These are all the system privileges. Okay, to access your database. Okay, if you want to give that permissions, means you need to use the system privileges. Okay, there are so many different system privileges are there. Okay, normally system privileges will be handled by the DBA people. Okay, no need to worry. Okay, system privileges. No, right. I will show you how many permissions are there. Select any table. Okay. List of privileges. Somewhere it will be there. I'm stopping my sharing, right? Yeah, there are so many different roles are there. Okay, connect resource DBA, exponential full database, important full database. Okay, like that you are having n number of roles. Okay, by default roles will default permissions will be there. These are all the permissions. Okay, there are around 360 predefined roles and permissions are there. Okay, system privileges and all. Okay, that is system privileges. And one more thing, object privileges. If you want to give the permissions on particular, okay, procedure or particular function, then you can say that is the what? That is the object privileges. On particular object, you are giving the permission. Okay, these are all the create any procedure, create any material view, create any view. Okay, means you are giving the access to create the things. Okay, these are all the system privileges. Normally, DBA people will take care. We can able to execute because all the here all the users whatever you are creating, these are all the DBA users. So that's why you can give the permissions to the all the users. Okay, are you are clear, right? What is system privilege? What is object privilege, guys? Okay, create any procedure, create any material view, create any view or anything. If you are giving that permissions, means these are all the system privileges. Okay, you are not giving the permissions on particular view. You are getting the grants to create the permissions. Okay, this is called system privileges. Object privileges means on particular object. Okay, next term is role. What is role? Already I told, right? In the real time there will be hierarchy. Mm, that is paint. How the organization structure will be there? It is correspondent will be there. Next CEO will be there. Next department heads will be there. Okay, just for your example, I am telling. But in real time, there are so many hierarchies will be there. Okay, so many departments will be there, and under that there will be managers is there. Okay, under that manager some different teams will be there. Okay, these are all the team lead levels. Just for your understanding I'm telling one level of hierarchy. Okay, next under that some senior persons will be there. Okay, I will make the relationship. Okay, next under that trainees and software people will be there. Okay, like that you can ignore, you can imagine real time. Okay, let's see. I will write how the roles will be there, how you can give the grants. Here just here you can give the some correspondent. Correspondent means business users, okay, or whatever you want. Next, here you will be having CEO. On top of that, here you will be having department heads, okay. Head one, department head. He's from finance team, okay. He's from accounting team, okay. He's from uh, software department team, okay. Software department team. Just for example, I'm telling, okay. Let's assume he is from inventory. He is from infrastructure. Okay, like that, so many departments are there. Under that, there will be some department heads are there. Okay, let's assume this is software. Just I am having this one, right? So this is software department, and here you can give some infrastructure or HR department. Okay, like that you can give. Okay, under departments there will be some different projects are there. Okay, different projects will be there. Okay, he is from project one. Everybody is reporting. Okay, let's assume he we are having three projects like that. Okay, just this ignore you can these roles and all. Okay, next he is project manager, right? This is project one. He is taking care of one manager here, and one more project is there. He is taking care of manager two. Next here, manager three. Okay, this is third project. He is taking care. Like that, there are so many. Okay, under project manager one, there will be some different team leads. Okay, and project manager, here you are having the some different departments. Okay, let's assume you are having developer. Okay, developer side one row, team lead will be there. Okay, developer lead and testing lead. Okay, testing lead. Okay, next under this one again, uh, after testing, business. Okay, business consultant will be there. Okay, let's assume like that you want to define. Under the development, you will be having sub developers, right? Developers, you are having developers. Next, testers we are having, and next business users we are having. Like that, user hierarchy will be there in the real time. Okay, just for your example, I am telling. Okay, see whatever developer is doing, whatever testing person is doing, business person is doing, he your project manager should have that privileges. Okay, how roles will be defined, right? So what DBA will do, he don't know all the times how many developers will come, how many team leads will come, what are all the teams will include, okay, what are all the business additions will add. Okay, here business people is there. Next again, I here one more team will add for the reporting purpose. Okay, I want to implement the BI team, business intelligence team to generate the reports and all. Okay, under that project. So what I can do? So all the times developer sorry DBA person cannot able to add the people and these things. So what they will do, they will give permissions to add the people. Okay, of course they will create the roles and all sometimes, but they will give the grants to create the roles and users to the project managers. Okay, what they will do, when if the developer new developer is added, okay, directly he will give the grants to the particular developer. Simply what he will do, he will create one developer role and he will create one user and he will assign the user to the particular user. Okay, same way tester he had added. Okay, just tester means he, let's assume tester is having only insert permissions. Okay, simply he will create one test user and he will give the he will assign the that user to the particular role and he will get the grants to insert the records into the tables and all. Okay, in this manner, in real time, it will work. Permissions distributions will be like this. Okay, so how you can define the roles, how you can assign the values and all, we'll see now. Okay, everybody is clear, right? What is role, what is user, what is permission? Anybody is any confusion in that one? I am using different words. Role, user, permission. Okay, privilege. Okay, and privileges here two types of privileges: system privilege and object privilege. Till now I have discussed only system privileges. One means what? If new developer is added, developer database can able to access. Testing user means testing environment, UAT environment can able to access this one. This tester cannot be able to access the developer environment. How we can define? Just for connecting database, okay, particular object, he will be having, don't he don't have any rights to connect the dev databases. Developer cannot able to access the production databases. Okay, like that there will be some roles. Okay, he will give permissions to that one. Okay, let's create some role and how it will be. Okay, simply diagrammatically what I have told, I will create one role and I will assign the permissions to the particular role. Create table, create view, create materialized view, create user. Like that I will give the permissions to the particular user. DBA will give the grants to the particular role. Okay, what are the permissions he wants, that he will give to the role. Okay, after that users will be added to the particular rule. That is the image of this one. Okay, simply you can able to see this one. You can add n number of privileges to the particular role. Directly these persons can able to access whatever you are having the privileges here, that these users can able to access that one. Clear, right? So how we can create the role? Simple, create role, role name. Okay, it's developer role, already it's there. Okay, developer one. Okay, in the, how we can see that one, for every objects you will be having some metadata tables. Okay, dba underscore roles. Okay, here you can see these are all the roles. Okay, developer role and connect resource dba, select catalog role. I have shown, right? There are so many different types of roles are there. By default few roles will be there, that and all: connect role, resource role, dba role. Okay, these are all the default roles. If you want to define yourself, okay, that is user defined role means you have to create the role as a separately. That is developer one role. Okay, like that I am creating, and I will give the permissions to the particular role. Okay, create view. Okay, I am giving the permissions to create the view, create table, create any index to the particular role. Okay, maybe it will work, may not work, but real time it will work. Okay, don't worry. Let's create some users and we'll assign the value, assign the users to the particular users. Okay, you have created few roles now, right? Ali I have created, and I have created just now Balu 56, right? Let me add that roles. Means what? These users will have only whatever you are having the rights on this developer one role. Okay, developer one role, only that permissions only having by the Ali and Balu 56. Okay, developer one role is having only create table, create view, create any index. Okay, let's rest. First we'll withdraw the permissions from the users and we'll try to assign that one. Okay, here actually revoke is not working. Okay, revoke all from Ali user. First we'll see that one. I guess it will not work. Okay. Revoke all, it won't work. Role grant all to the user, right? All on EMP. Okay, we can revoke all the permissions on particular object. Okay, but all permissions for the revoke will not be there. Okay, all privileges. System privileges not granted to Ali. Okay, all permissions he don't have. Whatever permissions he has, if you want to see that one means you will be having some library. Okay, that there you can check what all the permissions he has. That one. Okay, the system privilege you tried to revoke was not granted to user. Okay, make sure privileges are trying to revoke or granted. Okay, revoke these permissions. Okay, actually it is not working here. Normally you can revoke that permissions also simply by running the revoke command. Okay, so now whatever permissions you are having, create view, create table, this one. Okay, let me create one procedure if it is there or not. We can do that one. Or create or replace procedure ERC1. Okay, begin null. Okay, like that is I need to define is. Yeah. Okay. Actually, its procedure is create. Normally, if you don't have the permissions, means you won't get. Already, I told you right. By default, it is creating the DBA users. DBA role will have the all the permissions. Here, if you see in the roles table, there is a DBA role. Okay, there is a DBA role. By default, user is adding in into the DBA role only. Okay, that's why it is allowing to create the procedures and all, but in real time you cannot get that one. You have to get the permissions to create the procedures, create the functions, whatever you want. Okay, this you are clear, right? Roles, what is role, what is the advantage of that one? Anybody have any doubts in this one, guys? Clear, right? Next, object privileges. Object privileges nothing but it is the work. This work with the developer only. Okay. Till now, whatever you have done, mostly will done by the your superiors. Okay, means manager level or architect level, and DBA people will take care defining the roles and defining the permissions and all. But if you want to define the roles on particular objects, okay, I want to define the permissions, okay, I want to give the permissions to particular object. Okay, then this will be the uh, responsibility to handle this one. Okay, to give the object permissions and all. Okay, let's create. I have user Ali, right? So let me create the T11. Let me try to access with Balu level. If it is okay, this way. Okay, let's start from T11. Okay, I have created the table in where Ali user. Okay, let me try this one. You cannot able to access that one. Okay, let me give this permissions to the Balu user. Okay, here user is Balu, right? Balu. Here user is, okay, Balu. I will give the grants to the particular Balu user. Okay, how you can give grant? I will give only select permissions. Okay, select on T11 to user. User is Balu. Okay, let me give that one. Okay, I have given the grants to the Balu user. Now go and check. Now you can able to query the data. You have to specify the username also T11. If you are not giving the user by sometimes it will take. Okay, means if you are using the DBA role means sys user means it will access, but you have to specify the Ali user, right? So Ali dot T11. Now let's check this one. Now you can able to query. Of course, data is not there, but you can able to query that one. Let's try to insert the records. Insert into Ali dot T11 values. There are two fields, right? One comma one I will give. You cannot able to insufficient privileges. You cannot able to insert the records. Okay, let's give grants to insert the records also to the Balu user. Earlier I have given only select privileges. Okay, now I will give insert on T11 to particular Balu user. Okay, I have given the grants. Now check whether you can able to insert the records or not. See, row is inserted means on particular object if you are giving the grants. Okay, this is called object privileges. This is specific to particular table. T11 table only I am giving the grants and revoking. Okay, are you clear? What is object privileges? Okay, let me revoke that permission. Revoke insert from on table. Okay, to the particular user. I am withdrawing. Okay, my permissions. Now again I am trying to insert the records. Again you will get the insufficient privileges. Okay, this is the way to operate the, you can control the DML operations, DDL operations, whatever you want, you can control your database. Okay, in real time based upon your roles and responsibilities, you will be having the privileges. Okay, everybody is clear what is roles and responsibilities, what is object privileges, system privileges. Okay, next what I will do with the grant option. Okay, let's take this one only. Okay, here I am giving the grants to the insertion and selection to the Balu user. Okay, directly he can able to access the records from the table. Okay, and he can able to insert the records. Of course, we don't as of now don't have permissions to the update. Okay, again he wants to give the permissions to the another user. Okay, here show user is Balu 2. Okay, here user is Balu 2. He wants to give the permissions to the this user. Of course, since owner is Ali, he can able to give the grants to the Balu 2 user directly without any issue. Let's assume he wants to give the permissions. Ali wants to give the permissions to the particular object. Okay, let's try that one. Grant all on, this is the object. Okay, owner is Ali object. Okay, to the user is balu2, like that. He cannot able to give the grants because no privileges to grant. Okay, means what? Okay, of course he is having only insert and update. Let me give same thing only. Select, comma, insert. He is having only two permissions, right? Let me give only those two permissions. Okay, even though if you are trying to give whatever he has permissions, he is trying to give the value to a user. He can now, he can able to access, he can able to give that grants. Okay, so for that what he has to do, all user is give the access to the value user with grant option. Like that we are having one option. Okay, with the grant option. Okay, if you are giving the permission like this, okay, with the grant option, means he can able to give the permissions to Bali user. Already he has permissions and he cannot able to give the grants to the another user. Okay, but if you are giving the with the grant option, he is also able to give the grants to the on particular object. Okay, now see, grant is succeeded. Okay, that is the with grant option. Sometimes interviewer will ask what is the with grant option. Okay, if actual owner is given the with grant option, second user can able to give the access to the on the particular object or particular role to the other users. Okay, that is the way to define the roles and responsibilities. Okay, see, DBA will create the users and will create the roles, but user adding and all removing responsibilities of your manager. How you can define, how you can do that one? If he has the grant option to access to operate the role, okay, then only he can able to use give the grants to the lower level people. Otherwise he cannot do that one. Okay, are you clear with the grant option? Manager should have with grant option to define the new roles and responsibilities. Then only he can able to give grants to directly lower level people. Otherwise again he has to follow up. Okay, you have to send to your manager, and manager needs to follow up the DBA people. He has to give grants all the times. So instead of that, sometimes in some organization what they will do, simply they will give the with grant option to the your manager. Directly your manager only directly he can able to give the grants to the lower level people. Okay, are you clear? Okay, normally in the roles wise, okay, if you are defining means you cannot able to give the with grants option and all. Only sys user only can able to give that and all. Just you can remember that mostly this will not come to you as a developer, but interviewer will ask what is with grant option. Even in Snowflake also, while defining the objects manually, you can able to see this option with grant option in checkbox. Okay, after defining your tables or views anything, there will be some option to give the grants to the other users and all. Okay, with grant option there will be some tables to get the your roles information and all. Roles is privileges. What are all the privileges you are having the your role? Okay, these are all the uh, table dictionaries. Okay, we will be having role information. What are all the permissions you are having? Okay, developer role is having privileges of any procedure. Okay, developer one is having only table and index. Resource role is having sequence and trigger. Okay, just you can make the order by, so that you will get that one. Order by role. If you want to see the what user, what are all the permissions we are having, connect user will be having the create session permission only. Developer one user is having the, this is the three rows. Okay, next developer role is having, these are all the permissions. Resource is having I have given resource permission. Okay, that's way other users can able to give that one. Okay, while giving the grants I am adding that resource. Okay, if you are removing that permission means you can, you cannot able to create that one. Okay, let me create one user now itself. We can see that one. If you are giving the resource means you will be having the all the permissions. Here you are able to see, right? Resource means you are having the all the responsibilities. Where I have created. Yeah, I will create one user, but I won't give the grants to the resource reserve. Okay, grant connect to Ali. Only one. Let me create that one. I will change the resource role. Okay. Now try to create. First, you can connect because you are having the permissions to the connect. Okay. So let me do that one. Only one ANA user. Let me connect. That you can do. Now you can try to create the table. Okay. A number, B number. Okay. Now see, you don't have permissions, insufficient privileges. Okay. If you get create table permissions, then only you can able to create the table. Okay. Let me execute this one. Only one I am given the table view definitions. Okay. Now you can able to create the tables or not. Since earlier, since you are having the table 131, why? What happened? Only one create table. No privileges on table space. Okay. Actually, this is created in under system privileges. For that, you should be having some privileges. Okay. Even tables also will be defined under some table spaces. Okay. In real time, you can able to see that the table spaces and all that is completely depends on completely it's work with the DBA people. Okay. No need to worry what is table space. What is, there are so many components are there to define the tables and all. Okay, that and all will taken care by DBA people. Your responsibility is just directly defining the table and your columns. If you are maintaining any constraints, indexes and all, that will be your responsibility. But table space maintenance and all, that will be responsibility of DBA people. Okay, I have not included in the our topics. Okay, here actually you don't have permissions on system table space. Okay, here we are showing you will be having that permissions to define that one. So how you are getting with the resource? Okay, by default. Okay, here some table space to create the table spaces and all. Some other user will be having that permissions. Okay, are you clear? DCL commands. Guys, anybody have any doubts in this one? Okay, how you can drop the users means drop username. Okay, you cannot drop directly usernames and all since it is having some tables. Okay, currently connected. Okay, he is connected. That's why you cannot able to drop the table, drop the user. Okay, if he is not in active and he don't have any objects in his database, it will ask that one. Okay, cannot drop user that currently connected. Okay, let me check where it is connected. Okay, here it is connected. I need to drop here. Okay, now you are disconnected. Now you can able to drop the users. Okay. Cascade. Okay, why it is asking for the cascade? Ali user is having some objects. Okay, if you are using the cascade keyword, it will user will be dropped along with your objects. Okay, that is the cascade. Don't worry, this work will be done by DBA people. No need to worry. Okay, Ali is dropped. Next, Ali 1. You can drop n number of users. What cascade will do? Along, if you don't have any objects means with the user, directly it will drop. If it is there means, if any tables are used with DB particular user means, you cannot delete, you cannot drop directly. If you are using the cascade means, it will drop the user along with your objects also. Same way you are doing with the cascade, right? For the, if you are defining the cascade constraint at primary key, okay, while defining the foreign key and all, whenever you are deleting the primary key main record in the parent table, automatically child records will be removed. Same way here also it will be there. Okay, everybody is clear? Okay, so we have covered all the topics in the SQL. Okay, there are few concepts like DBA concepts, SQL architecture, like that we are having so many topics, but people are interested to learn Snowflake and all, so I am not explaining all the things. How many people wants PL SQL? Can anybody raise? How many people wants to go with SQL PL SQL developer? Nobody is, right. Okay, so we'll close. We'll stop this batch today itself. Monday onwards, we'll be having Snowflake batch. So I will start the Snowflake. Whoever wants to join, you can join. Okay, that will be good actually in market. That is a hot technology actually. Okay, if you are using, if you are working on Snowflake means, daily you will get minimum 10 calls, minimum 5 to 10 calls easily. If you are put experience 3 years means, okay, better to you can learn Snowflake also. SQL topics I have covered all the topics. Okay, you can see, you can check in the in this one every topic I have covered. This nested tables and partitions, clusters, these are all specific to Oracle. Of course, nested tables and all will be there. Some databases, partitions will be there in in Snowflake also, but that is external partitions. Okay, rest of the topics are very important. If you want to work on any database, you should be knowing these concepts. Okay, all the places you will be having DDL operation, DML operation, DQL, DCL, transactional control language. Maybe these transactional control languages will not be there, commit and rollback. Okay, but rest of the commands type will be there. Okay, built-in functions will be there in every database. Okay, decode case statements, nulls, there will be null. Okay, maybe none keyword or something word will be different, but actual that null value implementation will be there. Group by having operators. Okay, transactional control. Okay, that commit and rollback, that is different. Okay, subqueries, joins with class, set operator, sequence. Okay, maybe sequences will not be there. For these sequences there will be some other alternative for that. Okay, in Snowflake it will be generator, but actual concept is same. Next, pseudo columns also same thing, generators like that. Okay, there are different types of generators are there in Snowflake. Okay, that will be equivalent to the pseudo columns, and there are other things. Okay, correlates, this one analytical functions means we are having dense rank and all. Even Snowflake also we will have that one. lead, lag functions and all. Hierarchical queries, Snowflake, it is different. Okay, it is there in all the databases, but actual concept is same, but only syntax will get changed. Rest of the things, concept will be same. If you know that topic in any one database, easily you can understand that one. This all SQL concepts will work for you entire life. If you know SQL very well, you will be you cannot come outside, okay, from the database, because it will be very easy. See, by seeing this that keywords, select, update, that words itself we can come to know. Okay, easily you can work on that one. But if you go to Java, Python and all, means what will happen? There will be original function name and all will be different from actual English meaning. But in Oracle, it will be same. Okay, concepts also very simple. If just you need to think of logic. Okay, anybody have any doubts in the SQL topics? Any of the topics?
Clear, clear.
Okay, thank you guys. All the best. We'll meet Monday onwards. Snowflake batch. Whoever wants to join, you can join this link only. Okay, 8 to 9 will be the Snowflake batch. 7 to 8 SQL batch. If anybody wants to rejoin, you can join. No issue. Okay. If anybody wants to go with only SQL, just you can contact me. I will prepare resume for you. There is one with only SQL, you will be having so many jobs. Okay, SQL support jobs will be there, and if you learn a few things in PL SQL, you can go with PL SQL. PL SQL also nothing is there, just everything is syntax oriented. Just you need to take care of cursor statements, select statements, whatever you are having. Just you need to take care of that one. Rest of the things will be same. Okay, assigning the value, getting the cursor values to another variable, that is one time learning. So simply by seeing the syntax itself, you can come to know directly. You can use that one. You can copy the one procedure from the Google, and you can copy, and you can change the your select statement. That's it. It will work in PL SQL. And also you can easily go with the manual testing, ETL testing and all. Okay, if you know very well SQL concepts, easy to manage the ETL work, ETL tester work. Okay, whoever wants to go as a ETL tester, that will be fine. Just you need to learn that ETL concepts. Next week I will provide the ETL concepts. Okay, will be given by some other. Okay, my friend will give the that ETL concepts and all. Okay, what is Snowflake schema, what is the star schema, that and all, I will give that one demo, not demo, that complete information. And I will add Unix class. Okay, maybe next week or the after 2 weeks. Okay, that will be enough to go with SQL support and PL SQL developer. Unix, SQL, PL SQL. For the PL SQL developer, Unix and SQL, just enough for the SQL support people. Already I have explained SQL support projects. Okay, 2 3 projects I have explained. Okay, Ali, Karthik, so Balu, Vineet, Pushpa. Okay, Pushpa and Pushpa. Anyway, you are learning Snowflake, right? So that's okay. Teja, you want to learn Snowflake or PL SQL or SQL support? Which profile you want to go? You know UTL testing, right? Can you speak loudly? Okay, I will call you separately. Okay, we'll discuss. Once again, I'm asking anybody have any doubts in the